Hello folks, my name is Jason and this is my daily vlog called Living with CMT. I hope you enjoy. Hello folks and good evening. It's 7:15 on Saturday evening. Again, it's been a very quiet day today because the weather has been nothing short of horrible, to be perfectly honest with you. It's been freezing cold. I don't know where this cold snap's come from. The wind has been blowing gale force. We've had his delivery today, which I told you about yesterday. We've had a shopping delivery today from Tesco, and by and large we've not done too bad. There's two things that we're a bit angry with. One of them is the date on some Actimel yogurts. Now I have to take one a day for my health. Now normally when I order a pack or 2 packs, they've got 12 to 14 days on them. Well, both of these are 8 packs and they've only got 6 days on them, so I've got to drink 16 Actimel in 6 days, which I won't do, so I've complained about that. And the other thing is we bought a bag of what is known as irregular pears, basically imperfects. Now what that means is they're not the proper perfect shape of a pear, but the problem with them is they're also bruised and battered, so that the only thing you can use them for really is for baking. So I've had to put in a complaint about that as well. Anyway, I've got a good movie review coming up, and it's a film which I'd never heard of until last night, and it stars Dave Bautista and Bruce Willis, and it's called Marauders. Now, as most people know, I like a good action film. I've seen some absolutely brilliant action films. And now this one I found by accident. I was just trailing through the films on Netflix and I saw this film called Marauders. Well, I'll tell the truth. First of all, I clicked on one called A Walk Through the Tombstones with Liam Neeson in, and I was about 10 minutes in before I realised I've actually seen it. So that was not a good start. Anyway, I carried on looking and I found this film called Marauders. And I thought, well, it's a good cast, Dave Bautista, Bruce Willis, and there was a few others in it anyway as well. And I thought, right, this doesn't sound bad. So I gave it a whirl, and I'd give it a good 6 out of 10 because it's well worth watching. It's a bank heist film with a difference. Now, some spoilers coming up, so if you want to stop now, stop now. Basically, Bruce Willis is a bad guy in it. He is a head of a banking corporation, and somebody is going round robbing his banks, but they're only after specific banks in specific places, and they're killing people at certain locations. They're not killing all the people in the bank. They're leaving them alive completely. They're not even harming them, but there's certain people at each location that they're killing, and there's a reason behind it all, which you find out later. Now, it's a really good pacey film. There's a lot of drama in it, and there's also a lot of emotional content as well, which you don't often get in an action film. One of the head policemen, his wife has got stage 4 pancreatic cancer, so he's got reasons to want some of the money, if you like. He's not a bent copper by any stretch of the imagination, but he needs the money to try and help his wife because he's afraid of losing her. So his motive you can see. Dave Bautista is absolute class in it. He is. He's only got a few. I wouldn't mind, but he's not even in it for longer than about 15 minutes. But he's still funny in it. He still manages to come up with one of the best lines in the film, where they're on about somebody's, I think it's somebody's portfolio, and he says to this policewoman, he says, do you think he's got a small one or a very large one? And the head of the police department, who's doing the lecture thing to them and telling them about the mission, turns round and says, unfortunately for you, pointing at Batista, he says, you are a 3rd grader trapped in a grown man's body. Now shut the fuck up. Which is funny. I still think it's funny because the look on Dave Bautista's face, he just laughs along with him because he knows he's telling the truth. Anyway, like I say, it's a good film. It's a bit rough in places, don't get me wrong. It is a bit violent in places, but the storyline's good. And like I said, I do like a nice plot rather than just non-stop action for no reason. So yeah, I'd give it 6 out of 10. It's called Marauders and it's on Netflix. So if you want to give it a bash, I highly recommend you watching it. Now, like I said earlier, today's mainly consisted of staying in and staying dry and staying warm because it has been horrible. I don't know what's happened to the weather. I know yesterday I posted about bad things that have happened, so today I'm keeping off that target. I'm just going to stick on nice sort of, well, not nice things exactly, more positive stuff. Mainly to do with me, to be honest with you. My back's still playing me up. I'll just tell you about my CMT stuff first. And also, I've got problems with, obviously, my thyroid, as you know. And I've also got problems with staying awake. Even now, I mean, I did manage today to stay awake till I think it was about 4 o'clock, or not far off, and I've ended up with having 2 hours, which is fair enough, you know, 2 hours kip and then getting up. We've been having these baguettes that get delivered by Tesco. Now, usually they're about 55 pence each, which is a fair price for a baguette, I suppose. But when you buy them from Tesco, you buy them 3 for £1, and you think, well, that's nice and cheap, and it is. So what we tend to do is buy 8 or 9, use one and freeze the rest, and then just defrost them when we need them. Now you think defrosting bread rough, but no, these are actually okay when they're defrosted. They actually are as good, nice tasting as when they go in the freezer, which is a really nice change. Anyway, we did this online shop yesterday, and we patted ourselves on the backs because there's nothing bad in the shopping at all. We haven't bought no chocolate, we bought no sweets. I bought a bag of crisps, but that's mainly if I go for a sandwich or for a bit of a snack. But we bought nothing that's really high in sugar, nothing that's high in fat. We bought nothing like that. Because obviously with me having hypothyroidism, the problem I've got is I've got to be careful of my weight. I've got to also make sure I eat a balanced diet because of my stomach. So I've got to look after my health, you know, and I've got to be bothered about looking after my health. I don't know if anybody else with CMT has got these problems. I don't know if anybody else has got thyroid problems or anything to do with gastroesophageal problems. Obviously I've got a multitude of things, so different things affect me. So I can take precautions to look after myself with my CMT, you know, by not doing too much. But I've also got to take precautions in looking after my food intake and my health and my thyroid and the rest of it. You know, my eyesight, my eyes, because obviously I get flooded eyes, so I've got to look after that. I've got the anxiety issues, which I've got to look after as well. So it's a bit of a mixture. And I was thinking about CMT today, funny enough. Now, when I was first diagnosed with it, I don't know about any of you out there, but I was diagnosed with a condition called hereditary motor sensory neuropathy. It was actually called HMSN when I first was diagnosed with it, and when my mum was, and when my sisters were. And it was only later on that it became CMT. Now, I'm not quite sure why, whether they just renamed it or whether it's a totally different thing or not, but HMSN was what I was diagnosed with, and that was a right mouthful. So I was so glad when they just called it Charcot Marie Tooth, because that's a lot easier to say. You know, and when I tell people that I've got CMT, a few people know what CMT is. Obviously, a lot of them don't, because CMT is one of those things that if you don't know about it, you haven't got a clue. Even doctors and medical people look it up on the internet. So CMT is one of those conditions that I think people will get to know more about, and that's a bit why I do this vlog, so that I can get the awareness out there for the condition. Now, obviously, I raise money for charities for different things. I do Movember. Deb does Race for Life for cancer research, and we do funding for Macmillan as well. Now, bear in mind, we're only on benefits, so we still make sure we can support the charities that matter to us. And I think that's important. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's got to donate to charity, because you hear that every single day of the year. But I think if you can give something back, and are able to give something back, then it is nice to do. I mean, you don't do it because you're forced to do it. If you're forced to do it, then there's no point. You've got to be committed to a cause. Now, I've been committed to Movember since my uncle ended up with Alzheimer's, dementia, and he also ended up with prostate cancer. And I felt very strongly about my uncle. He was a really, really decent bloke, and him and my auntie passed away within a few days of each other, which I was gutted about, because they weren't old, they weren't in the 90s or nothing like that, you know, they were only 70s, and they passed away within a few days of each other, and it destroyed me, it really did. And I swore from that day, if ever I saw anything for raise money for anything like that, then I would. So of course, when the Movember campaign came out, or should I say when I first heard about the Movember campaign, I thought, how can I get involved? And I saw what it was, you know, growing a moustache or beard. Now, for some people, that's not a major thing, because either they grow beards or it doesn't matter if they do. Now, bear in mind, my wife can't stand beards or moustaches. She doesn't like anything like that. So when I grow a beard and a moustache for a month, I've got to basically sacrifice not being kissed for a month almost, because it really does irritate Deb. It brings her out in rashes here. It brings her out in really bad rashes around the mouth from the fur, you know, the fuzz, which I've got a bit of today, actually. So I need a shave. But yeah, so that's how I got involved with Movember, and that's why every single year, apart from 1 year, the only year I missed out for doing Movember was Deb's 40th birthday, and that's because her birthday falls in November, and I wasn't prepared to grow a beard and a moustache and that, knowing that it was Deb's 40th birthday at the same year, because it would have spoilt it. You know, it wouldn't have been the same. You know, I couldn't give her a birthday kiss or anything. It would have just been pointless, really. So yeah, that's the only time I've sacrificed doing Movember. But I will do it again this year. I know I'll do it again this year. Of course I will. And what I will probably do again is, because my second book will be out by July, I'm pretty sure of that, it's going really, really well. So if my second fantasy novel's out by July, any sales in November will go towards Movember, because I'm not in it for the money. No, I'm not in it for the recognition. I want to leave something behind that people can say I did. Don't get me wrong, it would be nice to say, yes, Jason was a writer. You know, he did get books published. And I do want to start doing me poems in frames with nice borders that Deb will design, and either handing them out as prizes on my vlog, or putting them in, you know, making competitions for people to enter to win. So, you know, it would be nice if I can do that. Like I said, I'm now subscribed to ZBox and my Geekbox, so I'll have 2 boxes a month to open on my video. And obviously, if I get any stuff that I don't want or that isn't my sort of thing, then, you know, I will be putting it in a box and either giving it away to one of my subscribers or raffling it off for charity or something, because I will put a fair bit in there. You know, it won't be like 1 or 2 items. I'll put a good few quid's worth of stuff in there. And obviously a lot of people out there like the geeky stuff, like me. I don't mean like the geeky stuff like me. I mean, I like the geeky stuff as well. So it would be really, really nice. I thought I'd wear this again for Melody, because she loves me tops. And this one's another one of them. It's the same one that you saw the other week, but I've actually got more which I'll be wearing in the next few weeks, so that you can see the Melody, because you said you like the you must like the gothic style, I take it. I've got some really nice tops with stuff like that on it, dragons and knights and swords and all that sort of stuff, because obviously that's the sort of stuff I write fantasy. You know, that's the main thing I write. I'm not doing anything else tonight at all. I'm going to watch a bit of football, which I taped earlier, a bit of German football. And other than that, not much at all. I was listening to some more music last night. I had a combination of Mike Oldfield. Mike Oldfield, what did I have last night? Mike Oldfield, Jean-Michel Jarre, The Prodigy, which is a fair mixture anyway, and 80s music. So I had a fair mixture. Oh, UB40, yeah, that was a fair mixture. Put that lot in a playlist, you'll get some funny looks. Anyway, that's it for today. You all have a good rest of your Saturday night and Sunday, and I'll do another video tomorrow. You all take care. Oh, by the way, just as a last thing, when I woke up this afternoon, I was convinced it was Sunday morning. So I was wondering why Deb was sitting next to me watching TV, thinking that it was 8:30 in the morning, and it wasn't. It was actually 6:30 at night. So I don't know, maybe my brain's lapsed for a bit. Anyway, you all take care. I'll do another video tomorrow. Hope you like the new intro and outro screens, by the way, with the new camera. I hope you enjoy what you've just seen and heard, and if you do, you can subscribe by clicking down that bottom corner there. And if you want to see what I was up to yesterday, you can click up the top corner there. Thank you for watching again, and I'll do another video tomorrow. Bye for now.